late game, Avery.
That is where they like to be, I suppose. They're just going to first phase the Yatoro Faceless Void and hope it carries them to victory in the clutch. If you're going to ask for a hero-player combination to do that, it is probably this man on this hero. But Liquid get a full lineup in response. They get a DK who can lane pretty nicely versus the Faceless Void. They have a Morphling counter pick in the carry matchup, and they have a Shadow Demon to bail out anybody who gets stuck on the Chrono. So it's a tough game for Yatoro to carry. He's going to need help from Larl for sure in terms of scale and bringing down the Morphling. And in theory, you really want this Lycan picking up the backline here, making the Shadow Demon and the Skyrat's life hell, and eliminating the turnaround potential for Liquid. If that happens, I could see Spirit running away with this game in the late game. Feels very comfortable for them for sure. It's just a matter of can Liquid get off another very fast start where, you know, it takes a while for Spirit to get there and they don't have as good a split push potentially as Miposhka is going to go down.
Oh, they're trying to give it to Nisha, but Zai's like, no, I'm not going to let this heal kick into play. I'm going to take the last hit. Sorry, Nisha.
Well, Purge's MVP vote in shambles already.
True. Or maybe that first blood is just the overconfidence on Team Liquid that Spirit needs to be able to strike back.
I mean, you're actually right. That is a classic Spirit move. You know, just go into the lanes behind the network. Then you're already winning.
True. I have to say, I was surprised that they jammed Yatoro's pickup so early. I thought, especially watching that Slark game, I was like, you want to make sure that this guy has the freest carry game possible because he will carry you 100%, man. If you put him in a game where his pick is uncontested, I don't know, man. I feel like it's the scariest thing to do. Sure, it may be his winningest most hero, but I would still prefer Yatoro's pick to be a little less counterpicked, you know?
Well, it does seem to be the positions where Spirit can run away with the game. It's just, it might be too much to ask for. Like, part of the reason they first phase Faceless Void is maybe they feel like they're not going to get that clutch pick super down the road. Like, they're just going to get banned out. You're going to have to take some core early here. I mean, also relying on a collapse last pick is not the worst place to be either, right?
What did you think of this Lycan? Was it really good?
Well, I mean, is it a blink stunner?
No. Does that say it all?
Maybe a couple of years ago. Collapse has definitely been expanding his hero pool. He has fallen into a similar position to ATF, I think, where like you kind of just need to play Zoo in the meta, and he's slowly been building that up. His Visage is not too bad anymore. He's playing the Lycan. His Beast has always been pretty good.
Yep.
It's not a Mars, it's not a Sand King, it's not an Axe, but I mean, you can't be picky in this meta. And we'll see if we can get it done. I mean, of course, you can also play this hero not on the summons. You can just play him like another carry. But I think this game you really want the Helm of the Overlord. I think there isn't a direct answer to Helm of the Overlord, and whenever that's the case, just put so much pressure on the backline. You just mop up these supports.
Zai getting some good damage on Miposhka with the help of boxi's double slows. Thanks in part to the light grenade. Miposhka last second pops the wand, gets the heal off, and will be okay. Baiting in boxi to throw some more spells around.
Well, so far, lane's pretty even like the second game, at least. I was about to say first two, but that first game Liquid ran away with it. Other than Zai getting that first blood, which is just going to make him invincible up here. It's a pretty damn good matchup for Davian versus the Faceless Void.
And similarly, a pretty decent matchup for Lycan, right? Because you have the extra damage from the Wolves, you can contest Morphling CS, and you're up against a Shadow Demon, which I don't think really does much to you in lane. In fact, I imagine iNSaNiA is going to be food for most of the game for the Lycan.
I think Spirit could have some rotation potential with the Enchantress as well. But yeah, I think Collapse, once he gets to Helm, should be in a similar position. And Mira going for the very aggressive play.
Yeah, but iNSaNiA got the Lotus, and I think that extra HP is just what he needs to survive here as he lands 2 Shadow Poisons, a Blood Grenade, and a third one will probably do it, or the Adaptive Strike. Neither is enough, though, thanks to the stick charges. Even had a Fairy Fire still to go to.
Pretty ballsy not popping that Fairy Fire. That looks close. The Wolves also force iNSaNiA out. It's going to force a salve out of him as well. And it should push Collapse to his Helm before he feeds any kills on this lane. Mid, pretty even as well. Larl holding his own against Snapfire. No easy task. I do think Wind Ranger is probably one of those heroes you can throw in there and expect to come out pretty well. And so if you trade Water Runes here, could just be a very quiet, even-paced early game until Liquid maybe decide to ramp it up around their Dragon Knight. I think that's the one pressure point outside of Mortimer's Kisses here. As Nisha starting to pull ahead in region a bit. That's maybe the one concern for Larl is like, if you just let Nisha get to a fast level 6, we've seen the solo kill potential skyrocket this event.
particularly with the Rod of Atos build-up. Does manage to get a water rune for Larl, though, despite Nisha's attempts to push him around. So he'll get a little bit more regen to play with. Meaning these rotations could be really important. Liquid, and I guess Spirit actually, too. There's a Skywrath Mage versus a Techies. Both are pretty proficient in rotating into that mid lane. Neither has chosen to do so yet.
I mean, Enchantress is still the king on the map. Zero always outfights pretty much anything. And they're just taking it to Zai. I don't expect him to die on this lane, but if you can get some good regen trades, it might open up Miposhka for a roam, which anytime you can get that going with the Enchantress, you're super happy. Could be a gate rotation as well. Just pick off a Shadow Demon, give some solo XP to the Faceless Void. However, Yatoro is having a very good early laning phase here, and for a first phase Faceless Void, that's pretty much the dream. Nice range deny as well.
Man, Larl really challenging Nisha there. They had a regen battle, and I think Larl actually came the better away from it, though. Good deny the range creep.
Oh, these Wolves bottom.
Mira, if he gets the bomb, the Secret Bomb's going to latch onto iNSaNiA, slow him down. The Wolves will do the rest of the damage.
Nice little Wolf micro here. Of course, he could be sharing control. We never know.
That's true, that's true.
Maybe Collapse just plays the hero and this team plays the summons.
Everywhere.
Not the worst idea. 5.5 minutes in. Power runes coming in 30 seconds. And undoubtedly, both these teams want to secure it for their mid laner. This matchup is so close right now. They got the disruption after the wind run. They did dodge their own spell, but it does set up the cookie to land. And because the wind run was used, no way to be able to dodge these shots. He runs into the tower to try and make it so the gold is split and not given directly to Nisha for a last hit.
And he does accomplish that. That's a level 6 timing on snap. They don't need the kisses. They bring both supports instead. Fight for the 6-minute rune. They'll spawn top, and that's a DD. Nisha has to choose between going for this rune or committing on the kill. And he will choose the rune, which I agree with. I think this DD is more valuable than a support right now. Especially when you can just punish Larl with that entire duration and a full level advantage. There is solo kill potential on this mid lane if you mess up a single win run.
I would say not just because of who the matchup is. Larl seems to be pretty important to Team Spirit and their progression in this tournament, but also because what heroes he's playing. Wind Ranger has really popped off lately in the playoff stages, so got to keep that hero down as much as possible.
It's just such a beast of a hero late game. Like, you let it get to 3 or 4 items, and you don't have the lockdown. It is a tough hero to deal with. You do have a lot of stuns.
Going to be late to this Wisdom Rune? Oh, they're actually going to go for the kill onto... Oh, with the kisses raining in. That's what they were doing. Nicely done. Now, it is going to cost them. Miposhka is well set up to take away the Wisdom Rune. They get both. But being able to kill Yatoro, that still feels pretty good.
Not the worst trade. You keep these liquid support levels down. It increases the window where Collapse can maybe punish them in the fights. It just creates a little bit of a slower timing for everything here. And, I mean, Yatoro was having too good of a time up top, you know? Still, for sure. That is basically the best target you can get with the kisses here for Nisha. He'll gladly take that Faceless Void kill.
And he does it so efficiently, right? TP's top.
Yeah, very
It's
fast.
a short walk back to the mid lane, so it really loses very little.
Focus Fire waiting.
They're going to go for a kill onto him now. He does have some magic wand charges, but he's going to need more than just boxi to protect him here. It's just not going to be enough. Run down by the Focus Fire.
Nice heads-up play by Spirit. They just recognize the snap has to walk back to mid. No teleport, can't get out of this engagement despite no shackle being up for Larl yet. They'll even get a courier on the way, as well as probably another support here. iNSaNiA in the wrong neighborhood, not respecting the numbers around this middle lane, playing through that Wind Ranger with max win run. It's a lot of gap close, and this enchant creep is very strong on the map right now. Neither of these liquid supports have a fun time battling the summons, either from the Enchantress or the Lycan. And it is something that Spirit can just throw in their face and make them deal with. It's going to be obnoxious. It means you kind of have to play tighter, play around your cores, hug the towers. You get caught in these open random jungle areas, you're in for a very bad time.
I also think it means you want a better early game so you can get to that first defensive item. And then you maybe don't die as often to the Lycan and his summons running at you.
That's what I'm saying. That Wisdom Rune trade, honestly, was not the worst thing for Team Spirit. If you're going to give up that big core kill, you want to get something else on the map. And creating a situation where boxi and iNSaNiA might struggle to get to the 6s or like their first Arcane Boots or Pavis or whatever it is. I mean, you have level 6 on Miposhka already. He's very strong on the map right now.
He got a lot of great vision
Gonna run
down
into
while he
iNSaNiA
was
again?
there. iNSaNiA is going to be caught again. Trying to stack up the triangle. They just collect the kill as he runs back down. And look at the collapse move here.
Literally
Nisha.
collapsing on
Oh, yeah, he is stuck here. Nowhere to cookie two. Past the tier 2.
Double hell
Easy
bear.
dive for Team Spirit.
The Tomato Twins claim your soul here in the mid lane as there is no defense against the Zoo, ramping up at 9 minutes. I do not think that was a move Liquid expected here. They just completely opened up that advantage that Nisha created on the middle lane. Suddenly Larl is the one on the top of the board, gets a tier 1 tower for himself. Last hit to collapse. Very nice there, and they're off to the races, man. This Lycan is going to be a huge threat in this game. Not a lot of zone control. There's no big bars in this game. There's no big Tidehunter or Underlord to stand in front. You just need your cores to be strong.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Also, look at this Obs on Triangle right now. It's just seeing boxi stack this up. If you ever get in here later as Team Spirit, this is an objective that Liquid are going to have to protect. You might need to bring numbers for it. Zaya pretty damn far.
Yeah, and there's not much to protect him again. boxi can do what he can, but the silence even onto the Hellbear just to try and stop the slow, it's never going to be enough. Team Spirit are just overwhelming Team Liquid in just raw numbers.
It is not often you see a ultless, bootless Lycan make a kill rotation and have it work out that smoothly. Collapse just ramping up the pressure in this game, and they're going to try and contest the stacks that they saw off this ward. Look at 2 big creeps out of this.
We haven't seen the kisses put to use in a while. That always feels pretty bad. It's part of your ramp up, I feel like. As,
Look at the summons on
Snapfire.
boxi right now, man. He is getting run down.
Oh my god!
He's just dead.
Hannah minus pickup for Zai. Liquid already settling into a late game proposition here against a Team Spirit lineup that is running them over in the early game.
That's just a sick rotation by Collapse. Like, the fact that he knows he can exert this much pressure even without an ult results in a tier 1 and now a triangle invasion versus the stacks that they saw off the aggressive ward from Miposhka earlier. These support levels paying off very fast in this game as they are building a lead off the pace Collapse is setting right now as Liquid still looking for levels here. They need more time. Larl does not want to give it to them. It's going to be an Atos rush from both mids.
I have a feeling one is going to be a little bit more effective given the pace from Team Spirit. Any extra catch is just going to be more and more kills they're going to be racking up.
The other thing about this move from the Lycan is it puts him against the DK, which was the one pressure point from Liquid. Like we saw earlier, you can bring heroes to the Dragon Knight and just stun who's ever on the lane and take the fight into a tower push. This Lycan sits up here. It's pretty annoying for Zai, and you got the Faceless Void out of that matchup, which is a lot of recovery time for Yatoro with the Mask of Madness going to work. You might eventually give up this tower now as Collapse heads back bottom, but I really did like that move, and miCKe, you are in trouble right now. Gonna need the TP.
It's going to be surrounded. TP's now. Blast off. Going to be just a bit late. And the Chronosphere is a bit late. Oh, no. A small win that Liquid kind of desperately needed. It's still going to be Team Spirit taking this tower, but they are going to feel the pain of their first Chronosphere whiffing entirely.
I think Collapse just went a little too early here. I mean, from Collapse's point of view, he doesn't care if miCKe TV's out because he's here for the tower. This is certainly a kill, right? If you go 1 second later, I don't think miCKe TP's 1 second sooner. I mean, you never know. It's still a very heads-up play by miCKe as he gets it off very fast, gets out of there, dodges what would have been a very nice kill to pick up on the back of that tower. Another good rotation from Collapse. He has made this Lycan work in the early game, that is for sure. Zai does get the trade up top, and he did go Midas on this Dragon Knight.
Yeah, very early.
So he is farmed. He is going to be big this game and maybe just play like a 1 or 2 DK here with Blink into, you know, Manta, Octarine, Ags, whatever his choice may be.
Given the pace of the game, I feel like that also means that miCKe has to be a little bit more aggressive. Like, I think he's going to have to join in on a lot of these fights.
It would definitely help, for sure. Particularly the fights the Lycan goes to. Like, basically when the Lycan and the Ench run these creeps in, even when the Wind Ranger just runs at you with Wind Run, your defense is grouping up as Liquid and balling behind your cores and just making them man fight the Morphling and the Dragon Knight. I mean, you also get Demonic Purge up. It's going to make Larl's game harder. We are still waiting for this ult on iNSaNiA at approaching 14 minutes here. He's level 5 on the Shadow Demon.
There's the Rod of Atos put to use with the extra silence damage. Still not enough thanks to a shield rune on the Wind Ranger. Able to dodge a lot of the damage. Cookie turned around with the Mystic Flare.
That shackle
shot goes off, and Miposhka's going to live. Zai and boxi are both going to die, and they get the Rod of Atos on Nisha, which means he's likely to fall as well. Does have 18 magic wand charges, but Yatoro's on the other side, so he'll catch all of this. They're going to give the kill over to the carry of Team Spirit, thanking him for being just a little bit involved.
And straight into the enemy Ancients. This is net worth you're taking away from Liquid here, particularly the Morphling. Another great rotation from Spirit, and man, Larl has just owned this early game. All of these fights, playing from behind on the lane, not a lot of rune action, and he still finds a beautiful shackle into all these mines. You are just fireworks for Team Spirit to collect right now.
Yeah, Team Spirit haven't had a Grand Finals appearance on LAN since the Arlington Major, and fans have really criticized Larl as being a big part of that. I mean, after all, he's the standout. He's the guy who didn't win a TI, but this tournament, he has certainly stepped it up, and it seems like Team Spirit are looking like the best team in the world, which going into this tournament, maybe you'd put them and be like, yeah, Team Spirit, definitely a top 8 team, maybe a dark horse to show up in that top 3, but their performance here has been illuminating.
And I'll tell you what it is. It's Spirit prioritizing him a bit more.
Yeah, they left him out on an island for so long, right?
I mean, so much of this year has just been, okay, we pick some greedy hero for Larl like Zeus or Puck or whatever, and we put it mid, and you never gained for it. You look at what happened this game. It was early rotations in the mid with the Enchantress and the Lycan that gave Larl some space to get it going. And once he gets it going, he's a tremendous player. I think it's been a big piece of what Team Spirit have tried to figure out this year that a lot of the Western European teams have been dominating them with. And you have two great side laners that can play independent Dota. That's the thing. Yatoro and Collapse are always going to get something, right? You don't need to devote so much support time to these two big guys on your side lanes. So you throw a little more into Larl's way, get that machine running, and all of a sudden you have 3 cores online that are all scaling nicely here. And it's going to put Liquid in a position where maybe they need to like pick up the pace on these objectives, put themselves in a spot where you win some fight near a Roche pit or something, because that so far that objective looks like it's going to go Team Spirit's way as well, with this Helm of the Overlord already done for Collapse. They're feeling very comfortable right now. Anytime you get this Faceless Void in a first phase and you're in this type of position, you've got to feel good about it, right?
Yeah. More items that don't necessarily contribute to fighting. The early hand of Midas, Zai now has a Blink Dagger, but Nisha is going back for her Boots of Travel. Yes, this is standard, but it just does cause some questions of, you're already being run over. When are you going to be able to punch back?
It's definitely a better item when you're ahead than behind.
Yeah.
It is an item that allows you to split the map and catch up, though, which, you know, it might be Liquid's game plan at this point. They might recognize they aren't going to be able to get test these early Roches. First, the Lycan Enchantress Vision with all the summons, the Helm of the Overlord. Again, nothing really deals with it, just going into your backline and shredding it. So you have to concede something now and make up for it later. These Midases and bots will eventually pay off on the map. You can stall this game out. And, I mean, your Morphling's still going to be strong in the fight. Especially if you can maybe turn into the Wind Ranger, Wind Run in, get a Shackle. These types of small interactions, you have a lot of damage to pump into the stuns here between the Snapfire and the Skywrath. And of course, you can always go late game with the Snapfire Talons. You have a save for Chrono. It's not that this game is just a guaranteed auto win for the Faceless Void in the Ultra Late.
Yeah, I mean, the combination of save for Chrono, so you counter that part of him, and then also turning into the Faceless Void and putting Time Dilation on him.
That could also be very nice. Yes, we saw that in the 23 Savage game.
Yep.
I mean, he basically won that game.
Yeah.
You know, I hate saying that, but that was effectively a one game off of his performance in this Morphling into that Faceless Void. Dilation destroyed them. So if you're miCKe, you steal that out, you put it on the Wind Ranger, you put it on the Ench, the Techies. It's going to do some work.
Speaking of that, Techies runs into the Skywrath Mage, and he does not care about that damage because, once again, Mira actually going the other talent. I thought Magic Resistance was going to be the choice here against the Kisses and the Skywrath Mage, but nope. Opting for the Proximity Mines, win ahead, some more offensive capabilities, but he does have a Glimmer Cape.
That's the thing. The net worth on these two Team Spirit supports right now is eclipsing what Liquid have been able to produce, and that's the concerning part they're going to have to figure out. Like, how do you keep these supports alive versus the Lycan, versus the Faceless Void, versus all the summons? Shackle will find a illusion.
Yeah, Morphling miCKe's done a great job of actually keeping ahead of net worth on everybody else. He's going to be 10,000 net worth here at 19 minutes in. That's fantastic, but his supports have no chance of keeping up, and that's where that net worth difference is kicking in mostly.
And these are two supports on Spirit that can farm pretty damn heavily in Enchantress and Techies. Like, they can clear waves, they can clear enemy neutral camps, they can build a lot of utility in teamfight. Skywrath Shadow Demon are not matching that. Ideally, these two supports for Liquid are finding their momentum through the fights, through the pickoffs. I mean, where has boxi been this game, right? Not that it's on him, but boxi's a very influential player for Liquid in terms of the shot calling, fighting around the map, deciding where and when they're going to find these pickoffs. It's been a very quiet game for him.
Yeah, which is where I would have expected the Blink Dagger first for the Dragonite, but again, it did seem like Team Liquid very early gave up on the idea that they were going to be able to get any momentum going.
I don't think you could afford it. I think if Zai went first item Blink, you have like a Hail Mary smoke into Sky Ult that you have to connect on a Wind Ranger's lane, and then it might even still not feel as good as him just giving you some backbone to fall back on here with some scale.
So, Morphling illusions, Dragonites, Dragon Form pushing out, Disruption illusions, all things that Liquid are trying to put to work here. miCKe may be caught though. Does have Manta, up in a second, turns into the Faceless Void. That's going to help a lot. A Manta dodge will do even more for him, but he's running low on HP. They throw out the Chronosphere. Is that going to be enough? It looks like with the Mine exploding, nope, they actually got the Mine kill. Disruption goes off. Does he have a waveform coming up? No, locked down by the Gleipnir. And now Zai gets torn apart by the pure damage of Miposhka. And they're running down Liquid past the tier 3s now. Nisha trying to get himself whatever distance they can, but all the way into the tier 4s. Team Spirit establishing absolute dominance here in the first 20 minutes.
There is an Alpha Wolf in this game. It is absolutely collapsed as that Shackle lashes boxi to his teammate's corpse. That is about all he will see in terms of action for that fight, as the rout happens quickly off a single chrono on the Morphling being slightly out on the map. You gotta remember, this is still Aegis period for Yatoro. I mean, I was curious how much damage they actually have to pump in here, but it is a lot. And this Shackle on the side, again, Larl, he just finds Zai to a creep right behind his tail.
And look at Miposhka, man, he soloed Zai.
Yeah. I mean, the supports and Larl have just done wonders for these two big damage dealers. And one more Shackle just to show boxi that he's not going anywhere. That happened very quickly and very drastically. If you're Liquid, it did not feel great getting pushed to your tier 4s at 20 minutes in this game by a first phase Faceless Void lineup.
Seriously.
The pace that has been set here is incredible. It might have just caught Liquid off guard, because I think they were going into game 3 like, all right, you know, Team Spirit, they kind of want to play slow and methodical, get a later pick for Yatoro, get him a good carry matchup, scale into the late game right. So they're going in like with an early Morphling DK to pick up their scale and play that type of style. And then it's like, oh yeah, Enchantress Lycan, our Faceless Void's going to be able to run with him and just take early objectives. And then all of a sudden you're in this position where the pace, you're just not ready for it.
No, not ready for it at all. Which means miCKe, off of losing that team fight, is now going to start falling behind the Faceless Void and the Wind Ranger. He's got an Aegis, 12,000 net worth lead for Team Spirit. Everything is in their favor. They control most of the map. They've got big items coming in. AC for Collapse soon. Another armor item for Solar Crest from Mira, which is a great pickup. This is your Liquid's gonna have to push this game like 40 minutes if they want to have a chance.
They also need to start finding some pickoffs, right? That's where their lineup thrives. You start combining the Skywrath Mage with your DK or your Snapfire, you can easily kill these cores on the outskirts of the map.
The scan does manage to find boxi, plants a ward for Mira to get some additional information.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, okay, you're thinking about these pickoffs from Liquid. You know Spirit are thinking about it too. They have so much vision on this map. There's a Black Dragon pushing bottom. They have a base obs that never got dewarded. They have other wards on the side lanes. They have proximity mines throughout the Radiant jungle. These wolves are running around scouting people. The Enchantress creep is running around scouting people. Like, how do you get through all of this if you're Liquid to find that pickoff? The second you clump 2 or 3 heroes somewhere, your other lanes are getting shoved. It's forcing someone to show. The map read from Spirit is on point right now.
It's crazy how like vision works so well to Team Spirit's advantage. When you're behind, the vision is used to be able to find the right kind of team fights. Even though you have a net worth, disadvantage, you're able to push through that because the right initiation, or you're able to rat the map. When you're ahead, it just means that you're keeping the enemy team locked inside their base. No chance of getting picked off anywhere. No chance of a comeback for them.
That's why we saw the Beastmaster go up to that first phase ban priority. I think Liquid felt it in that game too, and unfortunately, Collapse can play other summons heroes. He gets a Lycan last, and another Shackle from Larl. He's just taking him down solo.
Yeah, nice little Manta to make sure not even the Dragon Tail can land. They do get Mira on the other side of things, which will help push miCKe into his Aghanim Scepter. That's now complete.
Nice little pick off for Liquid. I mean, they do have the BKB on the Dragon Knight when Zai respawns. And you finished the Gleipnir on Nisha. He went that over the bots, so maybe he also felt like that bots was a little too greedy. They just need the fighting item. They're gonna have to strike back soon. Particularly, you're looking at this second Roshan. That is not an objective you want to give away if you're Liquid. So that Ag's timing for miCKe. Time to find some action with it. If you're gonna turn it into somebody, it's gotta be the Faceless Void or the Wind Ranger, right?
Gotcha.
Depending on whose spells you prefer here. I mean, you take more damage away from the Faceless Void, I guess, with the attack speed off the Agi.
Yeah, but I think the Aghanim Scepter is way more effective if you take the Wind Ranger form.
I mean, the spells seem nice.
Yeah.
Like, you land a Shackle on this Faceless Void, you might just kill him with Skywrath burst damage. And it'll be a 3-man smoke through bottom for Liquid. There is nobody here.
Oh, got him this time! I love the fact that Yatoro's just like, you know what, I may have missed that one Chronosphere, but that's okay. I'll still throw him out when I think I can get him.
Oh, he does not care. He's just going to keep throwing him this game. I mean, you have a Shadow Demon Disruption. That's it that he has to worry about. And it is hard for iNSaNiA to position on this map right now. Did rush the Blink Dagger, which is probably the most influential item he can get in this game. You can't be too greedy here with Arcane Boots or anything else. It's just going to be Brown Boots Blink for the Shadow Demon.
And he will continue to play with Zai to try and use Dragon Form, Disruption Illusions to rat the map.
Larl, Invis mid. He went Linken's, by the way, so that Ag steal on him is not that online anymore.
Yeah, there goes that.
I mean, he's thinking about solo killing people here right now.
Hey, he's spotting Zai.
He is
get him
so
with the shackle shot.
tempted to go
get him
for
on
this.
Boxi too. Boxi's a freebie, man.
He just doesn't know where the Shadow Demon is right now. That's what's spooky about this. He's playing so aggressive. I mean, there could be sentries down. You don't know what could have been dewarding.
And the Invis runs out.
He has backup.
Radiant structure.
I mean, meanwhile, you got a glyph out of top off of just summons.
Yeah, that feels very bad for Team Liquid.
And Rosha spawn. So you know Team Spirit are going to scout this out soon. I don't think they want to commit for the high ground push when the Roche is up. Like, you do not want to throw this game going high ground and give that objective away.
For sure.
Larl also TPing to the other side of the map to just clear out the space here.
It's going to be a while until we get Scotty on the Morphling, which I think is then the connecting piece where miCKe is going to feel a lot more comfortable playing in team fights. As long as you don't give him that window to get that, you just get this Aegis and start forcing fights before he gets Scotty. I think you're pretty happy with Team Spirit. Larl pushes in the bottom lane, then he'll go through the gate to join his team.
Linken's for Yatoro as well. Those two Morphling Ags targets we talked about both have a Linken's now. Gonna have to think about it if you're miCKe. He just might not even see it. He might just go in and try and steal the Void.
Yeah, so what's gonna happen? Are they gonna get a good Dragon Tail off ever? Are they ever going to get a Morph off? This fight is so hard for Team Liquid unless they have information. That's something that
they don't have anything, man. They have zero vision mechanisms in this game, and all the wards up there are dire. Proximity mines, wolves, dragons, creeps. Very difficult to contest. They will have to concede a second Roshan here. That'll be another Aegis for Yatoro and a cheese, probably for Larl. And that could mean high ground. You have a lot of utility backing up these cores right now.
Dude, they are still working on trying to get some of these tier 1 towers, and Team Spirit won't let them have any of it. Mid's still up, bottom lane's still up.
They're also pinging this last obs on the map. Not the last one, but the most recent one from Liquid. These wards are so precious because you have to fight around them if you're Liquid. You don't have another way to bypass all the vision that Team Spirit are throwing at you, and it'll be a gem from Miposhka that clears it out. So you have one obs bottom, and that's it right now.
Is under attack.
Everything else is darkness, as Mira's setting up to scout their Tormentor when it spawns. But I think the call has been made to go high ground. You got to remember, there's still no glitch.
They got to get heroes in front of this, man. Like, Liquid's play is to stall out the game. Giving away free building damage like this is going to feel very bad. Not just building damage, it's a tier 3, it's a ranged barracks.
These creeps are chunking this building.
A solar crested up ancient black dragon just went to work.
Also, a double damage Yatoro with Lincoln Sphere stacked on him is about to go to work. This is a tough engage, and he just forces...
Chronosphere on it too. Immediately goes for the Snapfire. Doesn't get that thanks to the disruption, so he kills Zai instead. Nisha still gets shackled. He might be able to get that kill anyway. Beautiful stuff from Larl.
Buybacks mandatory here for Liquid. They don't even have the Dragon Knight one. It's just going to be another lane. Yatoro
just keeps going.
He doesn't care, man. Chrono or not, he doesn't need him to continue this onslaught. Where is the Morphling? Is Scotty finished for miCKe?
He's got it now. He's got to get through this Lincolns and get off a Morph.
Yatoro hiding while it's on the cooldown.
Oh my god, another range building. Team Spirit just put so much pressure on Team Liquid. They're struggling to be able to formulate a response here. Another lane of barracks gone.
And you still haven't even gotten this Morphling ult off. Just no openings. 2 lanes for a single Chrono and a Nisha Snapfire buyback here. Liquid are in big trouble, and they are on their last leg in this upper bracket final. As Team Spirit have come into their form at the right time of the year, stepping it up on everybody here. And an Ag's done for the Wind Ranger. If you thought it was easy to shut down Larl before, well, it just got a whole hell of a lot harder here.
Yatoro gonna take the time to get a Tormentor for his team. Like, all right, just a little something to help us out.
Tormentor's getting him, to be honest.
Yeah,
he's struggling. This has been the hardest part of the game so far for Yatoro. The damn Tormentor.
Thought I could kill anybody 1v1.
He was about to, if he had Chrono, I think. Not that it would help. And another smoke this bottom lane for Liquid. Feels like the only area they're confident going in.
Yeah, and they never find anything here.
I mean, they might find Collapse. Just walking into him. Oh, they're just gonna miss him.
Is that a good catch, though?
I don't know who's catching who here.
Him, man. I don't know if this is gonna be good. Try to go for the Dragon Tail. No.
BKB too fast.
And say goodbye to iNSaNiA.
Oh, iNSaNiA straight back.
Immediate buyback from him. I mean, Team Spirit are going to go for this high ground push. Most assuredly. You're not getting away with anything in this game. Team Spirit will force out the buyback one way or another.
Almost a 30K lead at 30 minutes. The pace of this game is insane by Team Spirit. As they're going to run it in with another Chrono.
Got him on the Chrono, but he got the Morph strength and the disruption is ready to go.
That shackle,
nice shackle though. Larl, beautiful. Once again catching them. Both the Sapphire and the Skywrath Mage are going to die for that one. And Zai is left surrounded by heroes. His BKB and his armor is just not enough. Team Spirit's damage is overwhelming. They're going to go kill these 2 heroes, force some buybacks, still take on the tier 3. They're not backing down, man. Oh, the cheese barely goes off for Larl. He stays alive. Now the dragon form is gone. miCKe has to put in all the work now. He turns back, going for Miposhka, because even the position 5 is a problem as the damage keeps coming in. Help, says miCKe.
Help, another shackle.
He needs another shackle, another blast off, and another win for Team Spirit.
Themselves to cover their bases against it, which I think also contributes to them eventually getting it on 24th pick because it's no longer on Liquid's radar to pick, and here we are.